Hello there. In this episode, we will do some power scaling between different anime universes, where we
And
will,
manga.
yes, and manga, where we will put characters to fight against each other and see who wins a battle in a 1v1.
First things first, another spoiler warning because we need to talk about the powers from the characters, and some powers are from, for example, final battles or ultimate climactic battles.
Hmm,
And second of all, we didn't consume any anime and manga, so certain characters are missing. Both of us haven't consumed Dragon Ball, and my Naruto knowledge, for example, isn't that fresh nowadays, so I didn't take a Naruto character, you get the gist.
hmm,
So some expected favorites are missing, but that makes it more interesting.
yes.
And in terms of
We don't.
ranking, in comparison, we have classic values like power, speed, creativity, intelligence, yada yada.
Hmm,
And in terms of comparison between power systems, everything kind of works. For example, Haki and swordsmanship is basically the same for Zoro, or some sword buffing magic.
hmm.
No, you can continue.
Yes. So basically, the first one in this list is Shinobu from Monogatari. And for this one, we have a basically unkillable vampire, which can unlimited regenerate. She's very, very fast. Um, Her attacks are mild, but she can suck out your blood to make you lose energy. And her battle IQ is kinda good.
The next one is Denji from Chainsaw Man, and this is quite a conundrum. Because Denji's attack power is very high against humans, and he can also drink blood to regenerate. So, does she bleed to reference Batman from BVS? He's thinking.
Um,
That's quite important.
what
Because
was
if
the
yes,
question again?
does she bleed?
I no, she doesn't bleed.
Oof, that's unfortunate. Because if she could bleed, then we would have an infinite battle of regeneration because both can drink each
True.
other's blood.
There's legit only one way to kill her, and that's by putting her in sunlight. No, basically putting her into the sun. That's the only way to defeat her.
I think because of the fact that Denji can't regenerate, I think the vampire wins this one.
Yes, I think so too.
Then the next one.
So, on the first hand, we have Musan, which can uh, infinite produce offsprings.
Another vampire, basically.
Yes. Um, but he has some cool techniques. I mean, he's not that high in battle IQ because he didn't fight that much. He ran away from Yoruichi, which isn't a good feat for him. So we haven't seen him fight that much. But his speed is high. His attacks are strong as fuck, boy. Yeah. And on the other hand, we have Bel Cranel. Cranel, I don't know how to pronounce his
I
name.
think it's Granel.
Uh, yeah. He has some pretty OP powers. Whenever he wants to be a hero, he gets pretty overpowered. He gets a lot of boost in his abilities. His speed is S tier, attacks is S tier, abilities are S tier because of his skills.
You should compare him to the other characters on the list. He's beatier and best. I think Musa wins this
In his
easily.
series, he's S tier
It
in
is
everything.
serious, yes. But all of
Ye-
the characters in the series are weak.
Yes, I mean, he would easily lose against Musan.
That was an easy one. Up next, we have Yami from Black Clover, who's a black magic wielding swordsman. I mean, his battle IQ is fine. He has both long range and sword techniques. He's strong, durable. He's a good fighter. But on the other hand, we have Kaiman from Dore in Super Gyoza mode. That mode is a cheat power. It's giga busted. Plus, he has multiple lifesteals, so I think Kaiman should clear this. You don't know Gyoza mode because it's from the ending of Dore, so I'm not going to spoil that much.
Ah, okay.
But it's kinda reality bending a bit. It has super strong attacks, super strong regenerative abilities. He can kinda also infinitely give himself magic because he can eat gyoza. It's his magic that he gets in the end of a series.
Okay.
It's strong. So Kaiman wins this easily. And up next, another swordsman. We have Zoro from One Piece. Basically the same as Yami, just with more swords.
3.
Or 9.
Yes. And on the other hand, we have Dio Brando. His battle IQ is very high, I would say, if he doesn't get too cocky. Um, he has some pretty good abilities with stopping time and stuff. Um, yeah, but this is also his weakness. He gets cocky because of his abilities with time stop and stuff.
I also think one of Dio's problem is the lack of offensive power. Because in the
Yes, yes.
final fight against Jotaro, what does he do? Throw a car and throw blades?
Mm.
I
I
think
mean,
Zoro can take this.
I, d- I don't know, because Jotaro saw through his time stop abilities, and Zoro doesn't know about his abilities. He would just stand there and get hit by a knife randomly. I don't know.
Yes, but
I
he
don't
can
think
stop
he.
time infinitely. Jotaro is always also a limit.
Yes, but Zoro would just be confused at first because he wouldn't see the knives coming and they would just straight flying towards him.
How good do you think is Zoro's observation haki? Because we know he has it.
Yes,
It's a
but
counterpoint.
we haven't seen that much of his haki.
But he has it at least. It's confirmed. It's better
Yes,
than nothing.
but do you think observation haki would see through times up?
I mean, you can see through teleportation, which is in this case kind of similar with it. When someone speed
Yes.
blitzes from one point to another. And Zoro would survive long enough before Dio could kill him with his knives and shit.
Yeah, I mean, Zoro is tanky as fuck, that's true.
Yes, Zoro would be badly hurt, but I think he would check it at one point. Then would
Yeah,
launch
okay.
some kind of AoE attack which one shots Dio.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that. He would be severely hurt, but he
Yes.
would win at the end.
He would be tanking 10 or 20 steps.
Yeah.
He would make a white beard basically.
Mm,
The next one, this is a fun one.
yes.
Rohan Kishibe. A stand user who can use a stand to manipulate people into manga, basically, is fighting against.
Luffy Gear 5, which is basically a cartoon
That's an
character.
unlucky matchup. I think Luffy loses.
Oh, I don't know about that, to be honest.
Rohan has a perfect stand against Luffy.
Yeah, but it's breakable. It's not like, yeah, I think Luffy has some more power and stuff, and
Destructive power
when
and punching power, yes.
what
Clearly.
what will Lohan do? Basically, he can't do anything against Luffy. He can just manipulate him and stuff,
Yes, he can. That's the point.
but he can't deal any damage. Basically,
Yes, but he can write, I, Luffy, surrender, and the fight is won.
Uh, that would be kind of boring.
Yes. Plus, if he wants to, he can also change Luffy's power because of the fact that it's a cartoon character. It fits perfectly for the manga, so
Yeah, okay, that's true.
I would argue Gear 5 is very strong and beat most people on the list, but Rohan is kind of a counter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The only thing is that we can argue is if Luffy punches him from like 100-meter range away with his thrashing powers. Because Rohan needs to kind of see the guy.
Hmm.
Can make that as a counter argument. But if Rohan gets his stand ability onto Luffy, Luffy is done. Like most people on the list
Yeah.
would be done, to be honest. But for Luffy, it's double done.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. I can go with Luan too at this point.
It's an unlucky matchup.
Yeah, yeah. But a funny one.
Yes. Very fitting.
Yes. And next up we have Eduardo Elric. Uh, what should I say about him? He has some pretty good or pretty high battle IQ. He has some good offense, but his defense lacks a little bit because he's just a guy, so he hasn't much of a defense. I mean, he can use some alchemy for him, but it could be easily breakable. Yes, but his battle IQ is very high, so
True
he
that.
can think of something.
His enemies is one of a Thunder Free. Thunder Free are odd characters. They are from a manga Thunder Free, and they are some chibi manga characters who get transported into a hyper realistic manga world. And in that manga world, they are basically Superman. They are kind of the same as Superman in terms of indestructibility and power. They don't have lasers and can fly, but they can at least jump onto the top of a skyscraper. So they would go to Edward and punch him to death with one hit. I think this match is not even close. The next one, or
Yes, you can go on.
the next one is in terms of their strength universe is the pinnacle of martial arts and swordsmanship and science. We have Alita who is a really advanced cyborg who is very, very good in martial arts and can use some sci-fi techniques with using plasma, which is kind of laser stuff. And then we have Shadow, who is easily one of the best swordsmen in his verse and in general from anime and manga, and who can use magic and has insane firepower in terms of magic. I would say if they fight just with swords and fists, then this would be close, but Shadow's offensive outfit with I'm Atomic is way stronger than what Alita has. Plus, we haven't seen Shadow go all out, so maybe he has some
Mm,
stronger attacks than I'm Atomic, who knows?
yeah, maybe.
I mean, you know Shadow, you know he's bloody strong.
Yeah.
The next one is one of yours.
Yes, it's Koro Sensei. Um, he has some very, very high speed. He has like Mach 3, which is basically as fast as a jet.
Speed of sound,
Um,
kinda.
yeah. So this basically means he's unhittable because he can dodge everything with his speed. And his attack is, I would say, high. He has some good attack speed. Attack.
In anime, if you are fast, then your punches will also hit hard because of acceleration.
True. But he's up against Makima. Um, she has some very high battle IQ. She manipulates others, so she would basically manipulate him to surrender.
Yes, that's an important question. Would her way of dominance work? Could she just say, like Rohan, surrender and be done?
I think so because Kuro Sensei is basically a human. He's
Was at
basically a
least.
male. Yeah, he was a male, so he would fall for her beauty and stuff. So I think.
Yes. I mean, we kind of did the same with Rohan, so it's consistent with that.
Mm,
Plus, Makima has also some strong offensive output.
yeah.
And she is still has the pact with Japanese minister, I think it was. Whenever she dies, another man or woman in Japan dies. So she has
Mm,
a lot of lives. Don't forget
yeah.
about that. Then to the next side of the bracket. This will be a quick one.
Yes. Limuru Tempest, which is basically a god at some point in the manga light novel. Um, Speed very high. Battle IQ is basically immense because battle great sage. Um, Attacks are very high. Defense very high. Yeah. And on the other hand, we have Mr. Peeny Weeny, which is basically known for fast punches, but nothing else than that. So it's basically obvious that Limuru would win this.
Ah, I thought Penny Weenie would win.
Ah, very
Sad.
close.
True that. The next one is similar.
Yes. Irons, which is basically the OP Empress of a video game, um, versus Galbimaru. He's just a human being, which is basically almost impossible to kill at first, but if you have the right technique, you can kill him. Um, yeah, it's obvious that Irons will win this.
Yes. Up next we have Inuyashiki, who is basically a stronger version of Iron Man, versus Sato, an undying man who is the most undying character in this list because when you kill him, he regenerates every time, without question or fail. So you kinda need to incapacitate him. He has also a very high battle IQ. He's kinda a MacGyver who thinks a lot about stuff and is very creative. Plus, he can summon a ghost that only Argents, Sato is an Argent, can see. And this ghost is also quite useful. But the question is, how can he beat the cyborg? There's one technique that the Argent Sato can use. When he cuts off his head and holds it against something, the head will regenerate no matter what happened. And with that technique, he can basically get through everything because of his regenerating matter. So if he can pack the cyborg, he can win with that. The problem is the cyborg can fly, so I don't think Sato can reach him. So Inuyashiki is probably going to win. Like maybe he can
That's
put
crazy.
Sato in the ocean or something. There he can move, can grab him and throw him into the deepest depth of the ocean.
Crazy. Next up, we have Natsu, which is basically the picture of power friendship because he gets a buff every time friendship is on the line. But yes, his power is very strong. He has the power of a dragon. His endurance is also very strong because he's basically a dragon. Um, his battle IQ is kinda mid, I would say. He just knows some punches.
He knows attack and forward,
Yeah, yeah.
like the classical shonen protag.
Mm. Yeah, and his defense is all. Didn't I say defense already?
Yes, you made the comparison towards a dragon in terms of
Yeah, yeah,
weakness.
yeah.
Up next, we have Joker Kim, the biggest cheeser on this list. Because if we allow all of his abilities, he would cheese fuck out of Natsu. Because he can study Natsu's character profile and knows everything about him because he can read the novel, whatever story where Natsu is from. Plus, Joker has the advantage of basically he has a level up system like in solo leveling or every other isekai, and the same goes for items, so he can get quite powerful. And he has immense knowledge of his enemy, so he could probably cheese Natsu with some transportation device. Because Joker is
Mm.
very smart. He's one of the smartest characters on the list. He's a rat. Plus, because of
I
the
see.
cheesing, the packs that he does, the glitches or cheeses that he uses, he has multiple lives, so even if Natsu kills him, he will come back. At least a few times.
Mm.
So maybe Natsu will win the first round or even the second, but Joker will win at some point, I would argue.
Yes, as you said, I think so, from what you've said.
Dirty cheesers are taking over our list.
Mm.
Up next, we have a hard one. Because we have Arthur, and we have probably one of the strongest characters on the list in Dracula from DRCL. Well, Arthur's a swordsman who likes role playing knight and gets stronger because of it. The more he can roleplay. And Dracula is one of the better opponents to roleplay against. Because Dracula would be an opponent for a medieval knight. That's one plus point. One of Dracula's strongest techniques is turning into a dragon, which is also a plus point for Arthur. You Fire Force fans know about Dragon. And we can kind of argue that Arthur's sword is a bit of light. So, but on the other hand, Dracula's basically a god. He's a being beyond human comprehension, and you can do a lot of shit. So, this one is hard to decide. Actually, don't know who would win this. Both has arguments for each other and against each other.
Mm.
What would you say based on my descriptions?
Ooh, I would say it was a very tough. Well, I think Dracula would win,
Yes.
but a small diff actually. It would be a tough fight.
Arthur would have some nice and neat tricks
Yes,
against this enemy specifically.
I mean Arthur would get clapped at first, but he's then gets gets stronger.
Yes, he would find some way to roleplay.
Hmm. Next up, we have a guy that is built for going to the gym, and because of that, he has some pretty high attack damage. He has some pretty high speed and stamina because of his training, and magic can't hurt him. Basically, he can outrun magic.
Depends on the magic.
True. Yeah.
And on the other hand, we have one of the strongest mages in this list, probably the oldest characters, who has the most magic experience, and who has at least top tier mana. I mean, you watched Frieren recently and saw how much mana Frieren had when she clapped Aura.
Mm,
You watched Marshall further than I've read it, right? Did Marsh fight against any flying enemies?
yes,
How did you go did against them?
he actually did pretty good. He was basically flying with his strength.
It's because there's always a possibility that Frieren can just fly and do some
Mm.
spell that
But I, but I,
incapacitates March.
but I
Mesh.
think Mesh would basically just go after her in the air and punch her. And what will Frieren do against punches?
She could do a spell that he can leave, for example.
So he basically flees, is what you say?
Not fleeing, she traps him.
Yes, but he has such an immense power that I think he would get free because of his immense power.
I mean, we can argue for both scenarios.
Yes, it's actually
Depend
a fun
depending on the
matchup.
spell that we use.
Mm.
So I think we can
But yep.
argue in both ways, and it's
Mm.
probably the closest one that we have.
Yes.
Besides, I would say the Luffy Rohan thing that was also up for debate.
Um. Yes, we
You
have
you can
basically
you can choose
seen.
if you want.
I mean, we have basically seen Mesh being trapped with magic and stuff, but he gets free like a lot, and I think Frieren would be surprised by how strong and fast he is. I think Mesh would win this because
Oh,
Frieren
wait,
wouldn't
wait. There's another
expect.
question before you go. I thought about something. Is
Mm.
Smash good against illusions?
I
Because he's
mean,
the smartest guy.
yeah, he's dumb, but would it matter to him is the question because he would just punch every illusion or clone.
And what if the illusion is unlimited of whatever he does? And while he eats his favorite snack, Frieren prepares an ultimate spell that he can dodge because he's just eating. Magic is complicated.
Yes, that's
You,
true.
you can still decide once. I just wanted to say that thought because
Yeah,
it came into my head.
but I really think Mesh would go for her, and she wouldn't expect that Mesh would just went straight for her, and so he gets an advantage of her. So then she tries to fly in the sky, but Mesh would go for her in the sky and would punch her. Another one.
You go
I
with
would
Mesh.
say Mesh would win this, to be honest. Because Frieren wouldn't expect his power, his strength and stuff. That's my reasoning.
Maybe because he has no magical energy to sense.
Yes,
Should we go on towards the next one?
yes. So we have Maple here, which she does have unlimited defense, but she lacks attack power because she's good everything in her defense. So she's basically a tank, like the real tank. Um, yeah, but she has some pretty good skills to make up for it.
And her enemy is the Atlas Gundam, who is quite mobile because he has some thrusters, so he's fast. He has good range. He has two laser swords, which are massive, and a railgun. So the question is, can the Gundam's railgun or laser swords pierce her defense? Because one
Um,
fact is pretty easy to say, she can reach the Gundam. There's too much
she can
range.
because she has the ability to get herself like somewhat of a Gundam suit. Do you know this power of her?
Nope.
She can basically turn into a machine where she can fly, she can shoot lasers and stuff.
Mhm.
She has some pretty cool abilities, actually.
I only watched the first few episodes.
Ah, okay.
I retract my statement. I just remembered her
Um,
being the slow tank who stands there menacingly.
she gets. Do you know about the turtle? About her companion, her monster?
Maybe. I remember something of the word turtle, but
I
no details.
think. I think maybe Maple can win this one because he has two different forms that she can go into, which are basically OP as fuck. She clipped the best player on the server with one of her forms.
I mean, if a railgun can, or the laser swords can't get through her defense, she would probably win.
She has some pretty OP abilities that are basically OP from the game, and the devs had to nerf her basically.
Mhm. Then we can go with the ultimate defense.
Yes, I think so.
Up next, we have Shin from the Newgate, who is basically an isekai protagonist who played through his isekai and is making a new game round. So he has highest level, highest skills, all of the cool magic, all of the best items, yada yada yada. You know how strong an isekai protagonist is at the end.
Mm,
Against,
against Saitama, the One Punch Man. I mean, his defense, I don't know, is basically mid, I think, because we didn't see much of him tanking any damage, because he just finishes everything with one punch.
yes,
Yeah, so his strength is overworldly, I would say. Um, his speed is also very high, but I don't know about his defense. I would say it's mid.
his intelligence is also below average.
Yeah. So who do you think will win this one?
I mean, I would probably say that Saitama. Shin is probably as strong as Rimuru, but he's still a human. If you can
Eh,
now, if you know of a better picture, he doesn't have
yeah.
the effects of Rimuru of being a non-human being. How should I
Hmm.
say it? He's a few steps below Rimuru in the evolution ladder in terms of isekai power. Let's say it like that.
Ah, okay. Yeah, then I think he would lose this.
Yes. Then no. Now we will go faster because we don't need to explain anymore.
Yes, it was a long time.
You need to explain the characters properly.
Hmm.
Monogatari vampire versus Michael Jackson vampire.
Definitely Monogatari Vampire.
Yes. I know that
He
Musan
can.
is a fraud, even though I
Yes.
haven't watched a single fight of him, but I know because of the community says that he's
If
a
one,
fraud.
mm, if one of her limbs get severed, she basically instantly regenerates it. Instantly.
That's like Sato. That would have been a fun fight, actually.
Mm.
Then
Maybe we will get it soon. Who knows?
Sato has already lost.
Ah, it's true.
Up next, we have Kaiman versus Zoro.
This one I let you decide because I don't know.
Kaiman can fly, as you can see in the picture, in his Super Gyoza form. So he could fly and bombard Zoro with stuff because we know Zoro is not that good against flying enemies.
Mm.
I would say that's the main thing that Kaiman has for him. I would say the offensive power is kind of similar. Durability is also similar. I would give it to Kaiman because of the flying.
Hmm.
Oops. Next, we have an interesting situation.
Yes, yes.
We have a manga artist who can manipulate other characters based on his stand because he draws them in his manga against another cartoon character. And this time, a cartoon character is a child, so even dumber and naiver than Luffy. So I think Rohan wins again. The same argument as before.
I smashed some cheese here.
It's the same as Gear 5, basically, just without the goofiness.
We can go for the cheese. Who doesn't like cheese?
Yes. Up next, we have Shadow versus Makima.
Ooh, this one is tough.
I would say Shadow wins. Shadow doesn't fall for women.
True.
He's also a manipulator. So, plus he doesn't like.
Yeah,
He would do some kind of subplot and doing some dumb shit, and would be pretending that he wouldn't fall for it.
true, true.
Plus, he has a way stronger offensive power.
Mm, they can basically nuke her.
Yes, I would say Shadow would win.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. He would win this one.
Towards the next set of a bracket. This one is for you. One of your two favorite isekai protagonists.
I think Lemuru would clap 1 pretty easily.
I think the problem with Eins, I've only watched the first season and some clips. It doesn't do anything to gauge his power properly.
Mm, he does.
Yes, he flexes,
He
but he isn't getting pushed or challenged a lot.
That's true, yes. But still, I think Lemuru with Great Sage, who then goes into standby mode. So basically, Great Sage does everything for him, would easily clap him.
Then we go for Rimuru.
Yes.
Up next, we have a Grandpa Cyborg against a Cheezer who's actually strong. I think Yoka should win this. He should have strong items, strong skills. He should have more offensive power, more battle IQ, and he knows his enemy. He knows his stats, he can kind of read his force, so Joker should win this. Or would you disagree?
No, I'm fine with it.
Now we have Gym Guy against Little God. Who would win?
um, he basically turns into a dragon, right?
He can turn into a dragon. He can also do illusions to manipulate you. He can turn you into a vampire. And when he
Um,
comes, everything around him changes. It's like he has his presence when he comes. His magic, to explain, his magic is leaking out, and he takes control over everything in space and time.
the question is, would it work on Mesh? Because,
The illusion definitely is.
hmm, hmm.
You can, for example, cheese you that you think it's still night. It's day, even though it's night, and then you go outside, and then you have trouble.
Hmm. I don't know about this one, to be
Plus, one
honest.
of Dracula's weaknesses is that he can't enter buildings without being invited, and Marsh is dumb enough to fall for some trick and lets him in.
True, true. Yeah, I think I can go with yours.
Up next, this is also a good one. Ultimate Defense versus the Ultimate Punch.
Yes.
I think this is the one for you because clearly I don't know Maple well enough as we've seen beforehand.
Um. Ah. This one is actually tough too because she can just fly away with her mecha suit, but I think Saitama would win this one because he still
Saitama,
won
he
one
should be able
one
to
tap.
jump high enough to
Yes,
get to her.
he can basically one tap everything.
Not everything, that is proven, but he can punch enough in fast succession.
Yes. So I think he will win this one.
Yes. Oof, crap! I fumbled. Where is he? It kind of looks dumb now, but it is what it
Yes.
is. I made a mistake. But next we have a vampire versus a user man.
Um,
I
and I
don't.
think the vampire wins because he has no means to kill her. He would just instantly regenerate everything.
Yes, he can't kill her indefinitely. That's the problem. So yes, the vampire wins.
Yes.
And now we have Rohan against Shadow. This is also an interesting one because Shadow has one interesting. It's not an ability, but one interesting quirk. He basically writes the universe around him, and stuff always is happening around him that fits him.
Mm,
So he controls the narration without doing it.
yeah.
So I would argue that this weakens Rohan's stand.
Mm,
So I think that Shadow actually wins
I think so too. He would
because
just go for the atomic and then
yes, and you know how much
explode
dumb
him.
fuck happens in Eminence and Shadow when
Mm,
he tells some dumb shit and it's kind of real.
yeah.
If you remember in the beginning when he thought about the cult of Diabolos, the story molded
Mm,
around it, the lie, and
yes.
suddenly wasn't a lie.
Mm,
So Rohan gets finally countered.
yes, finally. No more cheese.
Maybe not. Can Dyoka cheese Rimuru? Who knows?
I don't think so, to be honest.
Dyoka has killed a god, an Omni Reader. It's a lower god, but it's still a god.
Yeah, but I don't think he can defeat Limuru.
Maybe if I'm in the end of Omni Reader, he can, but where I am now, currently, it's definitely hard. Plus, we haven't allowed that much minion power, and a lot of Omni Reader's thing is that we have constellations who support their incarnations. Dyoka would be an incarnation at this point, so maybe if
Mm,
we allow Lakis and if I know Dyoka's full power in the end, then I would have a stronger argument.
mm.
The next, it's Dracula against Saitama. Now there's a problem. I don't know how we kill this.
Yes, but Saitama did kill an otherworldly being once. So maybe he can do it another one, another time.
That's the question.
And Saitama is rumored to be a god.
Hey, Wubert, he's just the ultimate gym buddy.
Yes, but he can one-tap everything.
Not one tap. That's still not proven.
Yeah, okay. But
Even
still,
though if you one tap something, if it regenerates indefinitely, we will need to
yeah.
talk a lot about this because we will have the argument again in the next
Mm,
segment. So, because there's another vampire.
true.
The problem is with this vampire, I don't even know if this thing regenerates because it does not take damage. From what I've seen, it's a problem. But we can treat this Dracula as the other vampires, so that it's basically kind of the same.
Yeah, okay.
That would make it at least coherent.
Mm. So I think Saitama will just punch it to the moon, to the sun.
Yes, that is another good counter argument. Because we saw that he was getting punched through the moon, so it can happen the other way around.
Mm.
And then the vampire would be dead.
Yes.
And I know that this Dracula is probably not good against the sun because he had to do the illusion to get the people outside with thinking that it's sunny, even though it was still dark. So he fears the sun. That is
Uh,
proven because he had to rely on the illusion to
mm.
cheese.
Yeah.
So with that, I can see that Saitama would win. I need to drag it now because of my mistake. Shadow versus Vampire.
Oof.
Shadow has already killed a Vampire Queen
Yes, yes.
in season 2.
Mm. But would it work against hard underplayed? I don't know her full name. Shinobu.
Yes. Shadow also has punched in the end of season 2 this whatever this thing was into space and beat it to dust. So the same that
Mm.
goes for Saitama should probably go to Shadow in that
Yeah, true.
sense.
Mm.
So I would make the same argument as you did beforehand.
Yeah, okay.
So you can't
I
deny.
yes, I let it count. And now we have a weird scenario. Um, hmm, hmm. Because Rimuru doesn't feel any pain. He has some high damage absorption. He basically can revive. Um, hmm, I think Rimuru would win this.
Can you really revive if he's 100% dead? That's the question.
Mm, yes, because in order to kill Rimuru, you have to kill his soul. But
Ah, true.
Saitama can't kill the soul of Rimuru.
Yes, he can only punch.
Hmm.
And it's
So it
fair.
would be no way to kill him.
I guess it's fair. Then we have Shadow versus Rimuru.
Final battle.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
I think Shadow
yes,
would
yes,
be what is better than Saitama in that regard because he's also isekai. That's a plus point.
mm,
If you have to kill someone's soul, he can use magic. It's also a plus point.
yes, yes,
And I would argue that he is an equal amount of magic if you compare him to Rimuru, at least of what is
yes,
shown.
yes. But do you think he would go for I am atomic and then just think he would win and just go away?
That's a question where we don't see a character getting pushed. The same was kind of was going for Eins as well. I don't think Shadow
Yeah.
would get cocky because he likes the thrill and the thrill of role playing. It would be boring to one shot everything at one point.
Mm. Huh.
Problem is he can kill Rimuru. That's the other question.
But he likes Limuru's idealism, I think. He wants a world where everyone can live in peace. That's why he fights. To fight the injustice.
Shadow would like it because he can roleplay in this world as the eminence in the Shadow, who's secretly pulling every string in this world. Being the great
Yes.
mastermind against that Rimuru, the most powerful being, has to fight in the end. That's what he would do.
Yes, but is role-playing power enough to kill a mere slime?
Who knows? In D&D, yes. But that's a D&D.
But Limuru can produce clones to make him feel like he won. Like in the battle between against Hinata. Do you remember it? Where Hinata fought, he killed Limuru. She killed Limuru.
Yes, but after that, Rimuru was in no condition to continue fighting.
Yeah, that's true.
He was gravely weakened.
Yes,
So
but he
it
has
would be at
demon
best
lord
a draw.
powers. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I could live with a draw here. Hear me
Yes.
out. I think this battle can go for a lot of time.
Yes. The other question is if Rimuru would be able to survive in space, the Shadow yanked him up. So we can make arguments for both.
I mean, Limuru doesn't breathe, so he would be fine, I guess.
True that.
I mean, Limuru doesn't breathe, he doesn't feel pain, he doesn't get paralyzed, he doesn't get any status effect. And Great Sage is basically,
ChatGPT
yeah,
on steroids.
yes. Hmm, tough one.
Yes. If you would have seen Shadow get pushed real hard, same as Einstein, you could draw more conclusion. That's always a problem with power scaling. A lot of it is hypothetical.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we know how strong Rimuru can get, but Shadow has more potential.
he does, yes.
So I think both of us can live with either contested winning.
Yes. But it wouldn't be fun for the viewers if just two characters win, I think.
True.
But for me, I let it stand as a tie.
We can ask the viewers who should win. That would be the better
Yes,
maneuver.
yes,
And then we let the viewers choose the winner, and that's the decider.
yes. I think we should do that.
Then I think we are
So
done with this one.
yes, you have feared our arguments. Choose wisely.
Then what will we do
Yeah.
next week? Do you want to know?
Yes, tell me.
We will talk about two topics. Yes, we are late to this, but we will talk about the anime tourist debate. We will talk basically about Zoomers and how anime is perceived nowadays. And in combination with that, we will talk about legacy, also topic in the terrible tourist video.
Hmm.
So, two big topics representing the anime Zoomer and manga boomer, basically.
Yes, yes.
So, we will talk about that one next episode.
Yes.
Then, see you again next week.
Until then, have a good time. Bye.
Bye.